How's it going, dudes? So you have a lifelong dream, and that is to purchase your very own Majgar 56 cubic foot commercial display fridge from your local Target supermarket. You know, like a normal person. But checking the price of that nowadays, yeesh, you're gonna need to find a way to get some cash and fast before the neighbors start spreading rumors. Dude, I don't think he has a Majgar. Well, lucky for you, I have both a reliable and sustainable way to earn the funds that you need to survive. Winning a board game show!
It's the crossword game you've played all your life, but never quite like this.
The last time we were around these parts, we looked at game show board games, games that you play at home based off of the shows that you watch. But now we'll be covering board game shows, shows that you watch based off of the games that you play at home. You still following? My mouth tastes like pennies? Good! There is no limit to the stupidity that TV execs will allow on their network, as we have seen before. So as expected, there is going to be an abundance of whack crap for us to comb through. Who knows, we might even run into 3 good shows. I'm feeling hopeful this time around. So grab your buzzers and get ready to roll that giant novelty die as we strap in for some board game shows. We'll be tackling these bad boys on a game-by-game basis. So why don't we start this one off with the one that they just will not give up on, Scrabble. Find yourself someone that believes in you as much as TV believes in Scrabble, and buddy, you are set. They have tried to make Scrabble work as a TV show on 6 separate occasions now, and in terms of the kind of run a game show needs to have to be considered successful, it has worked 1 time. To be fair, that is one more than I would have guessed. The only one that ended up panning out was the 1984 version hosted by Chuck Woolery, who was also the original host of Wheel of Fortune, so they had a bit of star power. They also had another bit of power in that this game is absolutely nothing like Scrabble. This is a word guessing game where the host gives a hint and 1 letter will be revealed at a time until one of the players guesses the word. Whichever player gets more words moves on to the bonus round, where they compete against the previous winner to do the exact same thing. I kid you not, the only connection that this has to the board game is that they'll connect the revealed words on a board, which does nothing, and they call the letters tiles. You could call this game Booze Boodle and it would make no difference. The viewers didn't seem to mind though, because this show managed to go on for 6 years until it was eventually kicked off the air by Family Feud, which is honestly nothing to be ashamed of. That's a pretty heavy hitter there. The network wasn't about to just give up on Scrabble completely though. No, they were gonna make sure that puppy got back on the air no matter how many times it failed. 1990, the same year that the old version was canceled, they made a pilot to launch the exact same show with the exact same rules. This one was not picked up, likely due in part to how it was just canceled a few months ago. 1993, they pitched the exact same show again, but this time it was picked up, I imagine, so that they would stop asking. Surprisingly, the show that didn't hit with viewers just 3 years ago didn't hit with viewers, and it was canceled in less than a year. 2024, 31 years later, the CW decided to give it another go and made the jaw-dropping decision to actually allow the contestants to play Scrabble on Scrabble. And it is just as exciting as it sounds.
I'm playing Pearl using the PE so I can get that double word score.
You're a pearl, you're a diamond.
They did renew this one for a 2nd season though, so who knows? Maybe we're looking at the first steps of the new Wheel of Fortune. The CW could definitely use it, but somebody already had the idea of a show where you do nothing but Scrabble. It was the British with 2001's TV Scrabble.
Where our 2 contestants are standing by and ready and waiting to play their words onto our giant high-tech screen like this. It works, good. It costs us a fortune.
You legitimately just sit here and watch these 2 tap away on their game pads as they play 1 word at a time while the host delivers the driest commentary imaginable.
And now he's walking it. Now he's walking it. And your time is up. A walk in the park there for you, Richard.
Credit where it is due, though, this would make a phenomenal background show, which is probably why it made it 3 seasons before it ended up dying. Scrabble Showdown is the last Scrabble program to take a shot at the license and opted for the rotating minigame route in the hopes that that would drum up some excitement. It did not, and the show didn't even make it a year. Why is everyone so dead set on making a Scrabble game show happen? Who sits down, plays a game of Scrabble, and then goes, man, I would sure love to only be watching this? But before we see what other games you'll be watching, let's go ahead and get your setup set up with today's sponsor, FlexiSpot. FlexiSpot deals in optimizing your space to make the most of what you have. And nowhere is that better seen than their triple threat treadmill, desk, and chair combination. The brains of the operation, the E7L, the adjustable L-shaped desk that allows you plenty of space for your perfect setup. With its 2-board structure being able to switch orientation as needed and having the ability to support up to 330 pounds, the E7L takes charge and gives you the perfect foundation to build your setup around. The muscle, the auto-incline walking treadmill. With adjustable height and speed and being able to support up to 275 pounds, the auto-incline also comes with Bluetooth connectivity so that you can listen to your favorite motivational speakers along the way. Stuck waiting for any sign of life from your extremely reliable management team? Then just hit the button and get some steps in while you draft your 4th follow-up this week. Couple extra 100 steps a day will add up over time, so when you're up next at the yearly company sack race, you'll be ready. And finishing out the trio, we have the role player, the C7 Max. The ergonomic chair designed to conform to the way you want to sit, its wide array of adjustable features are sure to get you in the perfect position to perform at your peak. And with these powers combined, you're ready to be optimized. Seated in style for those periods of high intensity with the ability to get your steps in during the downtime? Literally unstoppable. Head to the link below to see how FlexiSpot's Power Trio can help optimize your space. And be sure to use my code on screen to make sure that you get the best price. Thank you again to FlexiSpot for sponsoring this video. Now let's close this commercial break and see what else television has in store for us today. With an electric 1-4 start on successful game shows, let's see if we can't do a little better with a bigger name behind us. And the name doesn't get much bigger than our next title, Monopoly. 6. Scrabble got 6 attempts at a game show, and you want to know what Monopoly got? 2. Haters. Yes, the single best-selling branded board game on Earth only has the name recognition for 2 attempts. So let's go ahead and check them out and see if there was a reason for that. Monopoly 1990, complete with all the audio fuzz you love from 90s local television. Monopoly 1990 was a quiz show that saw players guess words from hints to win properties and cash, before spending some of that cash to build houses or hotels in the big money round. Here you would go around the board, and if they land on your property, you answer a question to win rent. Other spaces carried their own effects as well, like the railroads allowing you to travel to a monopoly and attempt a hostile takeover. Finally, some respect on the railroads. Whoever has the most money at the end of the round moves on to the final, where you attempt to get all the way around the board in 5 rolls without hitting the various jail spaces. Make it, 25 grand is yours. This show feels long. It takes no longer than your standard game show episode, but each segment feels like they are about to kick the show off for going over time. Don't believe me? Round 2 takes multiple trips around the Monopoly board before calling time, and the introductory round needs a commercial break halfway through. Literally half of the game is just the property acquisition phase. To be fair, that is game accurate, but it's not exactly exciting television. The network didn't think so either, as after a 12-week stint as the partner of Super Jeopardy, a pilot for a solo career for the program was made but was never picked up, killing it in less than a year. Some good ideas in there for sure, just not engaging enough to hold the audience. Well, 25 years later, Monopoly would get another chance to impress the public with its only other outing, Monopoly Millionaires Club. And I don't want to oversell it or anything, but this might be one of the greatest game shows ever made. Monopoly Millionaires Club is absolutely wild. This show is so crazy that while I was looking over it, I considered just axing the rest of the shows and making this a solo video. There is that much to talk about here. For starters, let's begin with how you even get on the show. You need to win the lottery. Yes, in order to participate in the Monopoly Millionaires Club game show, you would need to purchase an actual real-world scratch-off ticket that could win you a seat on the show as a prize. You are actually sending money to your state lottery for the chance to get called to the stage. This also means that any resident of a state without a state lottery system was completely barred from entering the show. Nevada being a very interesting case because the show was filmed in Las Vegas. But winning that scratch-off didn't just get you your seat. No, it came with a whole host of benefits to entice potential gamblers to invest in the Pennybags bloodline. First, they would pay to fly you out to Vegas for the show, so at this point, you're already cost positive. Next, you are almost guaranteed to win some money just for attending, the reason for which we'll get into later. And third, even if you didn't get called up to the stage, one contestant was picked to play a side game where they could win up to $10,000 just for picking the right number. So if all else failed, you had a backup plan as well. But let's not lose focus. Right now we're looking at the single most exclusive game show audience on the planet, and 3 of them are about to be called up to play the game. So what are we in for here? Well, Monopoly Millionaires Club is a minigame style show similar to Let's Make a Deal. Contestants will be called up from the stands, they will play a game to try to win money, and at the end they can choose to forfeit their winnings for a chance to win the $1 million prize. All of the games are of course Monopoly themed, such as Block Party, No Vacancy, and my favorite, Ride the Rails, the railroad themed game where you pick from various railroads from across the series. Finally, some respect on the railroads! All of these games played with odds and how much you were willing to press your luck, so of course they are extremely stressful to watch and make for great television. But unlike other shows, winning that game does not grant you the amount you won, as from the money won from that game, only half of it would go to the player, while the other half would be divided equally between everyone seated in their section. This is where the draw of the lottery ticket came from, as even if you didn't get called from your section to play, if that player did well, you would still walk away with cash and your free trip to Vegas. Not a bad deal. Of course, splitting the amount of money from a standard minigame win with the 38 other people in your section wouldn't leave you with much. From what I saw, the average winnings were around $25K, split in half is $1250, and divided by 38 leaves you with around $329, but that and a free trip ain't too bad for a $5 scratch-off. Of course, you weren't there to win the hundreds, you were there to win the million. So how do you manage that? Starting from the player with the most winnings, they had the choice to keep what they had won or go for the $1 million in the finale, which might end up looking a little familiar to fans of the previous game. Players have 5 rolls to make it all the way around the Monopoly game board without hitting jail or other penalties. Along the way, they will get increasingly more money the higher valued spaces they land on, as well as chances to win prizes from the specialty spaces, such as a new car or free electricity for a year. That one might end up worth more than the milli. If they run out of rolls before they get there, they will split their new cash total with their section, but if they land on or draw go to jail, then they lose everything. Pass and Go will win them in their section 100 grand each, but landing on Go exactly will win their section 200 grand and them a cool 1 milli for themselves. Oh, but that'll never happen. How likely is it that someone rolls exactly on to Go? Well, to quote host Billy Gardell, let's fire up that rock and roller and find out. In the 17 years since Wheel of Fortune introduced the $1 million wedge, only 4 people have managed to win the grand prize. In Deal or No Deal's 5-year run, only 2 people ever managed to win the million, and that was on the specialty $1 Million Mission program where they just kept adding $1 million cases until somebody won it. And in Monopoly Millionaires Club's 1-year, 2-season run, They had 4 people win the $1 million. Each episode had around a 14% chance of producing a millionaire. Every time they air the show, it's a 1 in 7 chance of losing $1 million. Holy cow! Now, you may be wondering, Cam, how in the world can they afford to give away all this money and still remain profitable? That's a great question. They can't. In a brutal combination, the amount of money these numbskulls were giving away, combined with how several states began to drop the scratch-off from their lotteries due to how unpopular it was, meant that the show was, quote, economically unsustainable. And unfortunately, Millionaires Club would not be renewed for a 3rd season. In retrospect, having the success of your show be determined by not only convincing enough people to watch it, but also convincing enough gamblers to continuously fund it just made it that much easier for the show to fail. Just because an idea is cool doesn't mean it's not terrible. But man, what a show they had! The best part of this by far is that every single detail of the show, down to having to gamble for a chance to get a seat, screams Monopoly. This is the Monopoly game show. You cannot get any more Monopoly than this. A shame that it couldn't continue on because it is legitimately a really fun show to watch, but this was completely unsustainable. It's like they were racing to see how much money they could give away before they got canceled. Hilarious behavior. For all you Monopoly fiends out there hoping for a new show, though, it looks like Netflix is in the process of making a new Monopoly reality competition right now. So we might need to revisit that one once it comes around. Highly doubt that it'll be better than Millionaires Club, but as I like to say, the more people make me look stupid, the better off we all are. Now we are going to hit a lightning round of the games that did manage to get a show, but only managed to put together the one. Sorry boyos, but sometimes you just aren't interesting enough. The Candyland Baking Show! Alright, bad first example. Candyland sees several teams of bakers prepare themed tasty treats on an edible set, and is hosted by Emmy and Tony Award-winning actress Kristen Chenoweth, who is best known for playing somebody called Glinda in a Wizard of Oz fanfiction. I don't know. But Cam, this sounds absolutely ridiculous. Why is it in the lightning round? Well, on top of how we've already looked at it before, nothing really interesting happened with it. It's just another baking show with that one candy/land slapped on there, and it only farted out 7 episodes before it was put on indefinite hiatus. Not really a whole lot on offer here. It has not been officially canceled though, so there is still a chance that season 2 is on its way. And if you've managed to not lose hope after the last 5 years, man, I've got a couple NFL franchises that could really use your positivity. Yahtzee from 1988. Yahtzee sees 2 teams stand across a panel of 5 celebrities who are given an open-ended question, and it's up to the players to try to guess the word they think the celebrities answered the most to gain points, with hilarious banter interjecting throughout the— oh, you gotta be kidding me. It's just Match Game. It's legitimately just Match Game. My least favorite show of all time. I hate Match Game! Oh, sorry, the players do get to roll the dice to try and get a Yahtzee as a part of the bonus round if they win the judge section, so really only like 85% of this one is ripping off Match Game. Great. Awesome. Fantastical. Surprisingly, ripping off a show that just got canceled 6 years prior didn't really land with audiences, and Yahtzee didn't even make it a year. But an interesting side note, after the show was forced to move to a different location, executive producers Bernstein and Hovis were arrested on suspicion of stealing set materials like the giant novelty dice. Ah, come on, you can't fault the man for wanting big dice. This action ended up leading to those two suing the Showboat Entertainment Company, Atlantic City Police, the State of New Jersey Gaming Enforcement, New Jersey State Police, and the New Jersey Casino Control Commission for slander, false imprisonment, unlawful detention, invasion of privacy, intrusion, emotional distress, negligence, and symbolic defamation. Did you get everything there, or do we want to take another spin on the wheel of lawsuits? I could not find the resolution to the lawsuit, so it was likely either dropped or settled, but I did find that Bernstein and Hovis were mentioned in another lawsuit when they were told by the production company to present the idea for the show Anything for Money to Paramount, and when asked who owned the rights to the show, they lied and said that they did. What brings you to consider that a phenomenal plan? Okay, so we're gonna take the show and hope no one notices. Taboo from 2003. Probably the most game-accurate show on this list, teams would legitimately just play rounds of Taboo, and whoever got more points would win. The only changes being that the bonus round had themed words, and if you screwed up in round 2, then the host would try to screw with you. Didn't make it through the year, probably because the host was dressed like this. Next, Scattergories from 1993. This game sees teams come up with 6 words that match a theme, all starting with the same letter, gaining points for every word that does not match one given by the celebrity panel. This show is also hosted by Dick Clark from Dick Clark's Rockin' New Year's Eve. Alright, I'm sold. Great show. From that description, it also sounds like this one would follow the match game formula, but the difference here is that all of the celebrity panel's answers are pre-recorded, so you don't have to suffer through Barry McLary's hilarious commentary jolting in there making you want to blow up the set. That didn't help this one too much in the ratings though, as yet again, this one did not make it out of the year. And at this point, I'm starting to wonder if Scrabble was the only one to ever hit a winning formula. Not so fast though, as here comes 25 words or less, bringing in not only a successful TV run, but a successful TV run in the modern era. 25 words or less sees 2 teams be given a list of 5 words, and they need to bid on how few words they think they can use to get their teammates to guess all of those words password style. Lower bid gets to play. If they get it, they get the points. If they don't, the other team does. Also very faithful to the board game, this has a very simple structure that is again very similar to shows like Super Password, and that formula seems to be working pretty well for them as they are currently on their 7th season and have already been renewed for an 8th, setting this up to be the longest running board game show we've seen so far. You heard it here first, folks. If you want a successful BGGS, you simply need to go for the game I literally just learned about and the barn-burning action of Scrabble. Pretty obvious contenders if you think about it. Going back to the games with multiple attempts, we are sitting at a glamorous 2 and 10. Oh, we really need to get some more winners in here. Well, no better option to get us a win than another highly regarded title. Everyone give it up for our savior, Cluedo! Hi, I'm calling to see if there are any deals on coffins. Cluedo is the 1990 British game show that carries what might be the most unique game show structure I have ever seen. Get a load of what's going on in here. 2 teams of 2 are introduced, and it is their job to figure out who did the murder, where it was committed, and with what item. After they are introduced, a pre-recorded episode of events is shown showcasing who the murder victim is and why each of the suspects had a motive. And I'm talking full-on drama with plot points and lore elements. You could rip this straight out of The Young and the Restless. After the background is established, the actors of the suspects who are still in character are then interviewed by the contestants. Only the murderer is allowed to lie in the cross-examination phase, and after they are done interrogating the suspects, they are allowed to make a guess. This part is genuinely funny because they have to accuse someone of murder and the person they accuse is right in front of them. It's like a live-streamed police investigation. After this, the contestants will be shown one more scene of the suspects at the house, another round of questioning ensues, and they will go back and forth until one of them gets all 3 guesses right. They will then have a full-on segment where the culprit confesses to the murder, which is hammed up as much as possible. Something else, I don't think the contestants actually win anything. A prize is never mentioned, so they might just be doing all this for fun. The premise is wild, the actors are fun and hammy, and the entire thing carries the sophisticated air you would expect from stereotypical Brit high society. They have full episodes on YouTube from this one, and I recommend trying one out at some point just to see that this was a game show. It doesn't fit the format at all, and I think that's awesome. They only got 25 episodes off over 4 years, which, while lengthy, is less than Millionaires Club did, so I don't think I can add it to the list. But hey, it did do a much better job than all of the international versions of it. Cluedo Australia, arguably just as successful, ran for the same amount of episodes on only 2 seasons. Cluedo Italy only made it 13 episodes over the course of a year. Cluedo Germany did one worse at 12 episodes 5 years after the British version was cancelled, and Cluedo France got 4 rockin' rollin' episodes in there before they just gave up and canned the whole idea. Thanks for playing, Europe. You've taken our record down to 2 and 15. We're getting relegated. We're getting relegated so bad. Pictionary from 1989. Wow, it ran for a whole 3 months? We've got a real winner on our hands here. Pictionary 1989 saw two teams of kids draw pictures in the hopes that their teammates would guess what they are drawing for points. Believe it or not, the one with the most points wins. This one is very standard Pictionary gameplay, all the way up until the final round where it randomly turns into a Double Dare style minigame where the kids need to uncover a picture and then guess it to win like a VCR or something. Believe me if I say that that wasn't the worst aging thing here?
Arsenio Fan Hall Club. Who is it?
Bill Cosby.
That's right. Bill Cosby is right. Speaking for Felicity, the judge, the red team, Bill Cosby, myself, thanks for being here. We'll see you next time.
Look at that picture. They knew. They absolutely knew. But hey, 3 whole months on the air, that's enough for another go! Let's see take 2 with Pictionary 1997. Oh boy, this one almost made it a full year! Pictionary 1997 pairs contestants up with 2 celebrities each and has them compete to score more Pictionary points. Most points gets to go to the bonus round where they can compete to win hundreds of dollars. It's Pictionary but in the password style. Man, I don't know. Not even the host is interested in this. Look at Alan Thicke, man. Does this look like someone who's excited to be here?
Oh, you were doing fine, Coming back to see if the Macho team can catch the women here. They need 6 to tie.
Hey, 3rd time's the charm though. 25 years later, it's Pictionary 2022. Can you guess what happens? Oh my gosh, a celebrity comes on and they play Pictionary. Whoever gets more points wins and they play one more round for a trip. Riveting! Wow, we changed almost nothing and can you believe it? This one is the most successful version yet. What? Yeah, for some reason, audiences did connect with this format, at least for a little bit. It had a successful test run to start and then aired full-time for 3 seasons before it was eventually terminated. Not good enough to make our success board, but did a lot better than most of the other games we've seen so far. Well, that's nice. Doesn't stop us from moving to 2 and 18, but hey, silver linings have gotta be worth something at the pawn shop. Okay, think, what is the single easiest board game to turn into a game show? A game where the work needed to convert it into the new format would be practically trivial. Pursuit? Trivial Pursuit! It is literally already a quiz show. How could you possibly screw this up? Don't tempt them. Trivial Pursuit 1993 sees 3 contestants line up and answer trivia questions in an attempt to earn wedges for correct responses. Gaining all 6 wedges wins you the game and advances you to the next round. It's a Trivial Pursuit game show. It is literally everything you would expect from a Trivial Pursuit game show. No surprises here. Doesn't mean audiences are gonna watch it. Hey, Trivial Pursuit, quick question. If you're gonna go for a pure trivia approach to the show, do you think there might be a little competition there with, say, one of the most successful game shows of all time? I'll take Never Stood a Chance for 400, Alex. It's not a bad show, it's got a wide variety of trivia on offer, and that's probably what helped it reach the coveted 1-year marker on its lifespan. Couldn't help but get to 2 before it was put down though, so no luck yet. But hey, if we run this somewhere without that powerhouse roadblock, it might just fare a little bit better. Trivial Pursuit UK is the British show that shares a lot of similarities with the American program. Players answer questions to earn wedges, winner plays the solo bonus round, the show gets cancelled after a year. I can definitely see the resemblance. Okay, so it wasn't Jeopardy's fault. Maybe we're just a little too innovative for audiences. Any modern attempts? Guess who's back? It's the CW with Trivial Pursuit 2024. This one changes up the formula by adding points to the wedge scoring system and adding a chase round where players pick the categories they want the harder questions in. Whoever has the most points at the end moves on to the solo bonus round for 20 grand. This one I think has a much more engaging structure with the different rounds and added points, and it looks like the viewers agree as this one has also been renewed for a 2nd season on the CW, just like with Scrabble from earlier. So we'll need to keep our eyes on these and see if they can't go the distance. But not every Trivial Pursuit show needs to take the same format. Let's get a little wacky, get a little crazy with Trivial Pursuit America Plays. America Plays goes for a much different approach to the game, having viewers from across America submit their own questions in an attempt to stump the show's contestants. If the players get the question right, the money goes to the studio bank, but if they get it wrong, the money goes to the America Bank. At the end of the show, whichever value is higher determines the winner. Studio, the money goes to the winning contestant. America, the money is split evenly among the viewers who submitted questions. This is a very different kind of game to what we've seen so far. The only other one to have one of these outside the show gimmicks has been Millionaires Club, and this one requires a lot less commitment from the audience, only needing to record themselves asking a question to send in. The split is also way better for the viewer, as while you wouldn't get that free trip to Vegas, a prize of around 13 grand split 17 ways does net you around $765. And you didn't even need to buy a scratch-off for it this time. You might think that the more interesting structure and the decently cool gimmick might help this one out a bit, but no! One season didn't even make it a year. Too bad. Good lord, man. We're 2-21. I'm on pace to miss my original 3-winner guess, and I only have one chance left. The heck am I gonna do? Alrighty, when your back's to the wall, you gotta bring out the big guns. One chance left, universe on the line. Give me Family Game Night!
The games are bigger, the stakes are higher, and moments are priceless. Right now on Family Game Night.
Family Game Night is the 2010 show that sees families compete in a variety of minigames based around the Hasbro family of board games. Each minigame won awards a Monopoly cash card that is turned in at the end for a randomized amount of money. Whichever family has the most money at the end wins. Family Game Night forgoes the normal approach of the board game show of basing the show around one marketable title and instead makes the entire show about Hasbro, relegating the board games themselves to be the themes of the minigames. Hasbro fans rejoice! You can now properly cheer for your favorite company without having to play all of those stupid games. Hasbro definitely went the quantity route here to 1. Flex on the haters with all the games they own, and 2. Bring in fans of many different game series. Operation fans likely aren't going to be tuning into Scrabble, but hey, they might watch Family Game Night. It also adds a mystery element to each episode, as you don't know which of the minigames on offer will be included in that specific one. Gotta tune in each week to see if your favorite made it in. How many different minigames are in Family Game Night? Well, there's not too many to pick from. There were 2 toss-up type games to determine who goes first, Guess Who, and Cranium Brain Break, but for the regular games, there was Scrabble Flash, Bop It Boptagon, Regular Cranium, Guess Cheers Freefall, Connect 4 Basketball, Bounce and Boogie Boggle, Sorry Sliders, Yahtzee Bowling, Twister Lights Out, Operation Sam Dunk, Green Scream, Spelling Bee, Battleship, Regular Sorry, Monopoly Remix, Jenga, Regular Yahtzee, Barrel of Monkeys, the Community Chest bonus game, and the Monopoly Crazy Cash bonus game. Lord help you if your favorite is Bouncin' Boogie Boggle. I don't like your odds. This is definitely more of a game show aimed at kids, what with the brighter colors, the more action-packed and simple minigames, and the focus on family fun. And is it just me, or is it weird that this is one of the only ones that went for the kid angle? You know, kids, one of the largest demographics and markets for board games. Why did nobody else try this except for the awful Pictionary show? Seeing as the only other kids game show on at the time was Are You Smarter Than a 5th Grader, Family Game Night did quite well filling that niche, with season after season being renewed by the network, which is quite impressive for an hour-long game show program. It was also received well critically, with the show winning a CINE Golden Eagle Award and host Todd Newton taking home a Daytime Emmy for Outstanding Game Show Host. This thing was on a roll! And with things going so well for Family Game Night, one must wonder why the entire thing died after only its 5th season. Yes, this multi-award winning Hasbro-backed one-of-a-kind game show wasn't even able to match 1984 Scrabble in terms of lifespan. What the heck happened? Well, Family Game Night originally launched in 2010 alongside the network it was shown on, The Hub, a joint venture between Hasbro and Discovery to make a channel more focused on family content, taking the place of Discovery Kids. By 2014, though, Hasbro decided that The Hub was not performing as well as they had hoped and ceded operation over the network to Discovery. So The Hub was once again rebranded to Discovery Family, and Family Game Night would stop production so that the two companies could focus on their other major projects. When two companies get divorced, it's always the game show that suffers. So, despite everything in its favor, Family Game Night only ends up with 5 total seasons to its name, which just barely gets it in for my deal or no deal successful game show metric. An arbitrary rating system, yes, but it's my arbitrary rating system, so that's number 3, baby! winner! And that will round out the full collection of board game shows. So besides any that I might have missed, our final record tallies out to a crisp 3-21, which is just bad enough to likely net us a top 5 draft pick. As both head coach and GM, that selection is going to fall to me, and I think I've already got my pick in mind. And we welcome you back to the Board Game Show Draft. Cleveland has just used their #1 pick to get the 7th Scrabble game show on the air, and it looks like Cam is heading out to the podium now to announce pick number 2. With the 2nd pick in the Board Game Show Draft, KamSandwich Studios selects a 3rd Breaky Show! Yeah! Signing off for learning from your mistakes, I am KamSandwich. Thank you for watching and have a fantastic day. Mel, that is an atrocious pick. That is going to haunt this organization for years. You're right, Mike. I would have really preferred to have seen Shadur taken there. A special thank you to my suppliers, staff, and chefs over at the deli, as well as the media preservers helping me get these rare games ported for the public to enjoy. If you'd like to join the crew, you can take a look using the link in the description below.